Welcome back to Refresh Those. I'm Jordan, and once again we're working on the cheapest 4.4 TDV8 Range Rover I could find to buy. Now, I fixed the airbag, I fixed the rear brakes. What happened then? The tailgate broke. But I'm taking that as a win because that was 2 items fixed, 1 item broke. So that is progress. Either way, I'm led to believe that this is quite a common issue. Something about them seizing up. So I think we should dive into it and we'll work out what's wrong and we'll work out how we're going to fix it. Let's go. Right, so the first thing we need to do is gain access, I think, into the motor. It's inside of here. We've already got access to the locks on the outside here, but I think we should get inside it, really. So we've got these little caps that we need to pop off on the top of the tailgate here to gain access to the screws, which... Right, popped off. That now leaves us with 6 Phillips screws across here. Right, so this top bit here should pop off. Yep, just like that. Simple. And then this panel here, from memory, is just clipped on. So this needs a good old tug. Like that. And careful prying. There we go. That's how it popped off. You can tell I've done no research into this because I was hoping for one motor with a rod that went across and that was what seized up. But we've actually got I reckon this lever here, down in here, should return. So what is broken? Oh no, it's not hooked on, but it's not returning. I wasn't sure, I bet that they are meant to return in. Let's see. Let's just do that. That's that there. And that lever there. Has that now fixed it? Oh, I might have stabbed that one. Pull it out. Pull it out. Yes. Okay. Right. So, this here is seized on both sides. Very seized. So, we best take this apart a minute. The electrics inside, they're working spot on. Let's find out why this isn't a moment. So with the Torx bolts off on the side here, comes up, pops off really easy. That slides off. Now I've also taken out the inner module to show you as well what's what. I'll try and get zoomed in on here in a minute. Right, so what we've got here is if you undo the 13mm behind the tailgate strap, that will knock off this module. Really simple in here. You've got the arm, which comes off the actuator to open it, so that comes out to open it up. And then you've got a spring on this little arm, which makes it automatically return. If that's come off, just rewind the spring around, pop it back on, and it should be springing again. And then that goes through to the tailgate lock here, which when activated, like so, it will turn this here, and that will in turn release the latch. My issue here on both sides is this latch is sticky. So that's not returning, and then with that not returning, it doesn't allow this to latch and stay in. So I'm going to now soak this in a bit of WD, blast out the insides, and we'll see in a minute with that if we can get it working. So it looks as if this has been press fitted together, so I don't know if I can actually pop it apart on that casing. There might be a trick to it, but I don't want to risk breaking it, so I'm going to try and just soak it first. Try and get into all the bits behind this one here. Oh, it's instantly done a world of good there, straight away on that. Lock it. We want to try and free up this top bit here. Because this here needs to be so free that that spring has enough force to make it return. Which obviously beforehand it was not doing. That seems to have done it some good there. Now I'm just going to try and inject it with some better quality. Keep working it back and forth. There we go. There does appear to actually be a spring inside of this one as well. Right. And then we'll inject it with a bit of white grease. Something that will stick around hopefully. Try and keep it lubricated for the foreseeable. Right, I'm going to do this to both sides, pop them back on, and we'll see where we're at. So, essentially that did not go to plan. Despite cleaning them up and having them working perfect on the floor, as soon as I bottom back on again, they would start to stick and jam up again. And what I found helped this was slightly slackening the outer bolt, but it still wasn't enough on its own for them to return back to normal position. So I can only assume that maybe the spring on the actuator had weakened a bit, and obviously the inside of locks, without getting them apart, to better fully dismantle them and find, you know, and properly clean them up. Maybe they still just had a bit too much friction. So probably your easiest solution here would be to possibly replace that spring and replace the outer locks. I'd imagine they're quite easy to come by. It seems to be quite a common issue I think I've heard in the past. But for me now, I thought I'd do a simple little repair, and I'd put a spring between the actuator arm inside, or the arm that gets pressed for the lock, and the actuator itself. So that way, they're going to work now, aren't they? They will automatically return, and what might happen as well with this is because of the extra force that makes it return, it might actually free up the modules as they're used over time. Obviously they're packed with grease now and lubricants and whatnot, so it's working perfect now, which is good, but time will tell, and I might have to buy some new locks in the future. But either way, them springs are going to work for the minute, and that's a nice easy fix. So I'm going to crack on now with installing my fancy reverse lights, and I'm not going to put back the rear here, but the tailgate reassembly is the exact opposite of the removal. Pop the panel back on, pop your screws back in, and away you go. Well, to put it back together, it's basically the reversal, taking it apart. Pop that panel back on, put your 6 screws and caps back in the top, done. So now, works spot on again. Perfect. Right, well, I'm going to get cracking on putting the fancy reverse lights back in this one. Like I say, check that video out if you're interested in bright reverse lights. If you're interested in more repairs on the L322 and various other bits, modifications, preventive maintenance, and all that, there's plenty more on the channel, and there's plenty more coming. I've been Jordan. Cheers for watching.